Hello, my name is Hakon, and welcome back, all you fabulous fighting fantasy aficionados, friends, family, and other random passers-by. Has it been 4 weeks almost since my last, or 3 weeks at least, since my last fighting fantasy video? And it is about time I made another one. So today, again, I am playing Seas of Blood. Um, Now, this book seems quite hard to me so far. Last time I was very close, it seemed, to the end, but I sort of faltered at the last hurdle because I'd made a mistake earlier, which I think is quite an interesting way to go. Also, my camera is askew, so let's just do a little bit of. Well, just a little bit like so. Yeah, right. That will do. Okay. So, without too much further ado, I got my stuff ready here on my desk. So I've got my dice. I've got some new dice today that look like they're made out of black and white marble. They're simply marvelous. Got my pens, pencil, character sheet to be. This is my old one here, and my map from my previous travels. And also, you might recognize there's a cup of tea as well. Yummy. Okay, so let's get started. Move the mouse out of the way there. Now, it being so long since last time I played this, I've actually sort of forgotten a bit what was going on here and where I should be going. Then again, I don't really know where I should be going because this is one of those games where it's not linear enough that you can tell quite early on what is the correct path or not. And almost wherever you go, there are challenging and difficult things and obstacles to overcome and battles to fight. And speaking of battles, it seems that you can't really get away with a low crew strike, which is your crew's fighting ability in this game. So I might just no, I will roll for stats, and if they're not good enough, I think I will have to re-roll them. So I'll just see what I do there. So we got crew strike, crew strength, which is a stamina, and also it says something about their ability to navigate efficiently as well. My own skill, stamina, and luck. We got gold, and also we might be able to collect slaves for selling later. So I'll put a little thing like so. And let's get started. So 1 die plus 6, crew strike. 1, that's not going to cut it. 1 is not going to cut it. 6, 12 is going to cut it. Crew strength was a 2 dice plus 6, was it? I'll just have to check that. 2 dice plus 6, yeah, that's crew strength, so that is 2, yes, 16. My own skill, 3, I don't know, I'm not so sure I'm happy with 9, 5, okay, 11, I'll go with 11. Oops. And stamina, 8, 20, that's all right. Luck, 11. Okay, so those are good stats. I'll keep those now, even though I did have to do some rerolls to get there, but that's all right. And there's no using luck in battle in this one. So luck is only used for luck rolls, and I haven't encountered that many yet. Now, what was I going to check there? Let's see, there's a map of the area, which I never seem to refer to. So the thing is, we're starting up here in the north and we're going down to the bottom. And on the way, there's lots of adventure to be had, and perils to be faced, and monsters to be fought, and gold to be gained. So Did we have some gold to start with as well? I'm just thinking, yeah, you're starting with 20 gold pieces. Right. Without too much further ado, I think I'll just get started then, in that case. See if I remember how to do this, even though it's been a while. Feeling a bit rusty on this game now, but we'll see. It's all just a bit of fun, isn't it? So, introduction is called The Wager, which is quite an interesting one. The city of Tak, maybe, at the northern end of the inland sea is the greatest den of thieves, criminals, and cutthroats the civilized world has ever seen. Every form of vice and illicit activity is not only permitted, but even encouraged in the city of scum. This, your hometown, is where your adventure begins. So, yeah, sounds like a nice place, or not. Of the numerous pirates drawn to Tak, you and Abdul the Butcher are recognized by all as being the kings in daring and greed. However, neither of you are particularly wealthy. So, also, there's a bit of a strange thing here, because in the first one it says it's your hometown, in the second one it says you're one of the pirates that are drawn to the town, which means it's not your hometown, or hometown as in where you live, rather as in where you came from. When you say hometown, don't you usually think of where you actually originated? So, I don't know. It could be both, really, couldn't it? So yes, Abdul the Butcher and you. However, neither of you are particularly wealthy, as your love of gambling consumes all the riches that you bring back from your journeys against the enemy cities of Lagash, Marad, and Kish. And yeah, I pointed this out before. If you're a pirate, you are against the law, and enemy cities, I mean, they're not like they're your enemies, they're just trying to protect themselves from you in an aggressive way, which, yeah. Anyway, the infamy that the two of you have bred is also the source of a great rivalry. You each try to outdo the other in increasingly dangerous but breathtakingly successful raids, and I always want to say stupid there instead of successful. Your goal, the title of King of Pirates, the sacker of cities, which is never bequeathed but only earned. Also, should not be bestowed, not bequeathed. I'm sorry, I'm just being sort of linguistically picky. I'll just have to, hang on, because bequeathed, that's like, yeah. It's like inheriting, isn't it? So, like, somebody must die. I suppose there can only be one, but is there one at this time before? No, surely not. So, let's just see what my dictionary says. So, hand down, passed on as to following generations. Yeah, I suppose can sort of go, but yeah. Anyway, I'm really digressing. Sorry about that. Okay, so one evening, while dicing against each other in one of Tak's gambling pits, somebody suggests that the two of you should have a contest to determine once and for all who is the greatest pirate. The idea appeals instantly to your audacious spirits. Yes, says Abdul. Let us have a race of speed and treasure. I'm not sure if that's how he talks. You agree upon the terms of the contest. Each will take only one ship and, sailing from Tak on an appointed day, will head for the distant isle of Nippur, which lies deep in the Great Southern Sea. The journey must be completed within 50 days, and at the end, whoever has the greatest amount of gold wins the bet. With shaking of hands all round and much toasting, the deal is sealed. Your journey is about to begin. Now turn over. So, or just turn over, not now, turn over. Okay. On the day appointed for the beginning of the race, you take the Banshee out of the towering granite bay of Tak and into the inland sea. Abdul the Butcher's Havildar cuts quietly through the water beside you. Excuse me. Far to the east is the hostile but rich port of Lagash. To the west is the Sidra Desert, across which the caravan routes to the cities of Kish, Khala, and Assur run. To the south is the mountainous isle of Indraki. Will you head towards Lagash for a dangerous but daring raid against its coastal shipping? travel to the Sidra Desert to plunder the rich western caravans or patrol the inland sea via the Isle of Enraki. So, what have I done before? So let's have a little look at my map. I've gone towards Enraki. I've gone to Lagash. And I've gone to the Sidra Desert, have I, as well? And I've sort of... They all seem okay, I guess. The Soreide Desert certainly doesn't seem very dangerous. Gosh, I'm just trying to see here. It's not so easy for me to see how much gold I was able to glean from any of these things. There was a statue. Now, Enraki certainly seemed to have a lot of potential for gold, even though it was quite dangerous. I'm wondering if I should play it safe now to start with and go to the Sidra Desert. I'll do that. So I'm going to... Should I go to Lagash now? I think, isn't that what I did last time? Went to Lagash. Okay, I'll head for Lagash for a dangerous but daring raid against its coastal shipping. Right, yet. Decision made. Roll 3 dice. If the result is less than your crew strength, add 5 days to your log. So that's one of the ways you have time passing. My crew strength is 16. I roll 12. So that means I use 5 days. Let's put that over here on the side here. Log. And turn to 68, it says. Okay, so 68. You sail towards Lagash on the eastern rim, keeping a keen eye out for any of the numerous merchantmen that are attracted to this city. Fortune is running against you, however. 2 triangular red sails appear on the horizon in front of the Banshee and sweep down towards you. They are Lagashian warships, decks crowded with marines, battle banners streaming in the wind. You heel the Banshee about and try to outsail the intruders. Are they the intruders? Surely they are in their own waters. I am the intruder. Okay. Roll 3 dice. If the result is less than your crew strength, turn to etc. Okay, so that's less than my crew strength. Yeah. Turn to 87. Right. Seems your perspective on things is a bit skewed when you call the ports that you attack enemies and you call the ships trying to protect them intruders. Yeah, pirates. Their worldview is so strange. Okay. Cunning and skillful sailing puts one of the warships far behind. However, the other warship stays with you and eventually pulls alongside with a shower of grapples and arrows. You will have to fight. So that's strike 10, strength 8, and let's get started there. So I've got 12, 16. They've got 10, 8. I'm just double checking how the ship-to-ship battle was now. Yes, that's like normal battle, except it's on the crew instead of you. Okay, so so the warship rolls 3 and I roll 12. It's an auspicious start, or ominous. If I use up all my beginner's luck with the new dice now, I haven't used these dice before. 7 and 9. Okay, so they are down to 4 crew strength. 8 and 10, they are down to 2 crew strength. And finally, perhaps 9 and 7, that's a draw. 6 and 7, so that is a victory for Team Banshee. Okay. Oh, you could have escaped as well, by the way. Yes, so, but I won, and I won't go to 135. With the warship defeated, you board and search for loot. You find no gold, but 5 excellent captives from among the Marines to sell in the slave markets. Okay, so I've got 5 slaves. Returning to the Banshee, you put the enemy vessel to the torch. Would you head back to the inland sea towards Enraki, or travel down the coast to the rivers of the dead? Let's see, where were we now? So we had... So 735. I'm going to go down the coast to the rivers of the dead, because I seem to remember I found something there too. So I got to do that. You sail onwards to the rivers of the dead. Roll 3 dice. So that's my crew strength test again. So that is 12. So again, it is... if the result is less than your crew strength, add 5 days to your log. So now I'm up on day 10. Dropping anchor by the mouth of the largest river in the group, you disembark with most of your crew and march inland, looking for settlements or caravans to raid. After a few hours, you come to a small range of steep stony hills, crazed with gullies, narrow valleys, and dry waterways. Will you climb over these hills or search through a few of the gullies in case you are hiding anything? Let's see. Last time I went through the gullies, didn't I? So now I'm going to try the hills instead. When I went into the gullies, I got attacked. If I go to the hills, maybe I'll still get attacked, but we'll see what happens. Climbing over the stumbling surface of these devastated hills, you stumble across a cornerstone from a piece of... Hang on, I'm just double checking now. I'm recording sound, which is good. Sorry about that. Okay. Without warning No, sorry. Wrong paragraph. Climbing over the crumbling surface of these devastated hills, you stumble across a cornerstone from a piece of monumental masonry. Getting your crew to dig the earth and rocks away from around this, you find an ancient stone entrance to what may be a buried crypt, temple, or mansion. Pulling away the stones that block the portal reveals a narrow but straight tunnel, plunging at a steep angle into the hill. Will you go down this tunnel with a few of your best men, or close the entrance up and continue your march over the hills? So I've got the option of going to 158. Let's see. So 158 tunnel, or 316. Continue over the hills. Right. I don't know. Let's go into the tunnel. No guts, no glory, and all that stuff. Okay, so 158. Lighting torches, you and your companions ease your way into the tunnel and edge down through the hill. After a few hundred yards, the tunnel ends in another doorway. This one is blocked. Leaning against it to test its strength, you are surprised to have the floor beneath you flip open, dropping you out of sight of your equally surprised companions and into a narrow chute. You tumble down for this. Have I seen this before? I've seen this somewhere else. It just looks so familiar to me now. Which is just because it's a bit of a cliche, isn't it? But yeah, can't see it anywhere on my map. So, okay. You tumble down this for a few seconds before dropping into an open space and landing in a subterranean lake, spluttering to the surface of the water. You look around, turn to 53. Okay, so 53. Excuse me, 2 seconds. Something I need to just do here on my computer. Right. Yeah, sorry about that. 53, yes. I've been here before, haven't I? But where is it on my map? I've definitely been here before. Is there somewhere else we can get to the same place now? This is one of the disadvantages of leaving it too long between each playthrough. You sort of forget things as well. Ah. There is a 53. Okay, so I was wondering if I was getting a bit senile there for a moment. Okay, I have been here before. Okay, so you are in the large subterranean cavern lit by the phosphorescence of the rocks around. How convenient. To one side, a small wooden landing juts out into the water. Swimming to this, you pull yourself from the water and follow the construction to a short corridor, which leads from the cavern to a massive statue. No, sorry, to a massive stone door. Beside the door is a life-sized statue of a gargoyle, looking down the corridor at you. Will you try to open the door or have a close look at the statue? Now, last time I had a look at the statue, which I think is the key, literally, to opening the door. So, the gargoyle is set about a foot above the ground on a small circular dais. Looking closer, you see that the dais has rollers built under it. I think this is where I died, wasn't it? Ooh. So I need to figure out how this works now. So that statue has been built to be moved. There are wear marks from the rollers on the left side of the statue, but none on the right. Taking a firm grip of the gargoyle's shoulders, you prepare to push. Which way will you try to move the statue? To the left or the right? And last time I tried the left. And that seemed to work, didn't it? Still a trap though, wasn't it? I'm going to try pushing it to the right this time, because I think last time my stamina was then suddenly 6 after pushing the statue to the left. I think there was some kind of trap. So I'm going to... So the wear marks might just be a sort of a red herring. So. The statue rolls easily to the side, causing some ancient mechanism to grind into life, which opens the massive stone door with a hollow boom. You go through it. Okay, so that is good. So that means the going left is actually the wrong thing to do. And going right is the right thing to do if you find yourself in this place. And then we go to 179. But there is more to come, I think. Excuse me. Through the door is a long, narrow hall, whose walls on either side are regularly punctuated with alcoves. The floor is strewn with a large number of grey ovoid stones. Oh, this sounds familiar again. This is where I died, isn't it? Each about 2 feet in diameter. At the far end of the chamber is another massive door. Will you look in one of the alcoves? Take a closer look at the stones, or leave everything alone and make your way to the other door. So, last time I looked at the stones, which turned out to be some kind of creature that killed me because I didn't have much strength left, I guess. Should we look at the alcoves? I'll look at the alcoves this time. Okay, so that's quite nice actually, because I wasn't intending to do this this way now, but it turns out very quickly actually getting to a point that I haven't been before, which is quite fascinating. That's one of the joys of playing fighting fantasy games. Indeed, there was a conversation thread in the Facebook forum for fighting fantasy collectors where people sort of ask, oh, which books did you win on the first playthrough, etc. And I was thinking, if you win a book on the first playthrough, you really missed out a lot, because it's not getting through it and getting to the end and winning that is usually the most interesting thing in a fighting fantasy book. But it's the things that happen on the way, and the sometimes very colorful things that happen when you that put you in a situation where you end up dying or losing the game. And if you win the game on the first try, your incentive to try again or read the book again has gone down, because you don't want to. It's almost like you deliberately do what you need to do to lose the game in a way next time, which is a psychological thing. So if you win the game on the first try, you've sort of missed out on something. So I like it if I sort of win on at least no sooner than the sort of third or fourth try, because that means usually that I've covered quite a lot of ground and seen at least most of the book before I get to that point. Anyway, I'll get back to the game. So, and alcoves. Yes, I was doing the alcoves. And that is 218 I'm going to. So 218, and I think this merits a sip of tea. The alcove into which you look is shallow, covered in cobwebs, and occupied by an ancient human skeleton. This relic is dressed in rotting rags and the remnants of once proud armor. Now it lies in dusty collapse upon the stone floor. You see that it has several gold rings on one hand. Will you take these, or, leaving the alcove alone, go to the door at the end of the hall, etc.? So, that means that from here I can choose to do the things I could do from the other location, or I can go towards the door, which is... Oh, or I can, yes, pick up the rings. Now, I'm sort of thinking, usually skeletons, when you start poking around at their belongings, they tend to come alive and do stuff, but I'll do it anyway. It doesn't look like it'll put up much of a fight, to be honest. Oh yeah, famous last words. You take the skeleton by the hand, intent on removing its rings. However, as soon as you touch the golden trinkets, the skeleton springs into action by grasping your hand in its own bony digits. It squeezes tightly and holds you fast. All your efforts to escape are in vain. The supernatural grip proves greater than your mortal strength or human weapons. Your death comes slowly from hunger and thirst. Your adventure is over. Now, that is a colorful way to go. Now, this is I'm less than half an hour into this. I'm going to continue. So let's say now that I had autosave, quite a convenient feature that you usually get in these fighting fantasy books. I had autosave switched on, also known as a finger, or a bookmark indeed. And so I had one on the previous paragraph. And so I'm able to continue because autosave was enabled, and the game comes now up with a pop-up and it says, do you want to go back to your previous autosave? And I say yes. So I'll just do a little mark there at the end, and then I will instead go to the door, which seems to be the only viable option there. Okay. The door is a massive stone affair with an ornately carved block set in its exact center. Under this block is an inscription in a language which is so archaic that you have difficulty deciphering it. What do you think it says is this? To greet ut napistim, pishtim, you must or will push or pull the handle into or out of the door. Excuse me, I need to drink more tea. So, to greet ut napistim, you must or will push or pull. That's not very useful translation, is it? When you can't tell the difference between pushing and pulling into or out of the door. Taking the carved block in hand, will you push it into the door or pull it away from the door? So, right. So we have two options: pushing or pulling. 281, pull, 258, push. Now, obviously, because your translation is rubbish, to be honest, it's pretty much just a toss-up, isn't it? You just can roll the die to find out what you're doing. I'm going to push. And probably a good time to save the game again. Okay, so I'm going to save the game and I'm going to push. 258. As soon as you start to push, the block explodes with a shattering roar. Roll 2 dice and subtract the result from your stamina. 4. Okay, that could have gone worse. Start to 16. Okay, so that is stamina minus 2d6. And of course, if your stamina was down to 6 from earlier, if you'd done the wrong thing at the door, then that would have been used. So this place is full of death traps. I'm wondering if there's anything in here worth it. So this is probably the wrong thing to do, just for me as well, because next time I wouldn't do that. I'm just going to have a little look. Yeah. If you have, if you have survived the blast, turn to 281, which is the same as the as choosing to pull. So obviously pull is the correct answer in this case. So if you are here, you pull. So slowly the door opens into a large crypt occupied by a single massive sarcophagus. All around the edge of the lid is an inscription, repeated over and over, which reads, Ut Napishtim, keeper of the waters of retribution. I'm thinking this could be suddenly filled with water and you drown. Will you attempt to open the sarcophagus or leave it be? Well, I've already gone into most of the death traps down in this bit. I may as well do another one. So saving game again. Save game. Okay. I press F2, which is what it used to be in the old days before Control S. And I'm going to open the sarcophagus. Okay, so I'll just move this map up here. So, oops, that's not how I'm doing it. Okay, so we have two options, opening or leaving alone. So 292, open, or 358, leave it be. So I'm gonna do another save game and see what happens. With great difficulty, you manage to slide the lid from its place and onto the floor, where it lands with a resounding crash which echoes through the crypt and out into the caverns beyond. The sarcophagus is empty except for a stout-looking... So where's the guy who was in the sarcophagus then? Does this mean I'll meet him afterwards? Except for a stout-looking helmet and a bag containing a quick count 110 gold pieces. That is pretty good. So 130 now. Okay, so I'm still a bit wary about this one. So we've got 110 GP. And a helmet. Which, interestingly, I'm not given an option whether I want to put it on or not. I'll just put it on. Which to me sounds very ominous, because suddenly I'll find a ghostly figure saying, "You are wearing my helmet!" And then your head will crush. Okay. Turn to 358. 8, which is the same as leave it be. Okay, so that means it's another of those. Okay, so far so good. Above the sarcophagus in the ceiling is a large stone ring surrounded by a circular inscription written in the same archaic language as the yeah. I'll try again. Written in the same archaic language as that on the door into the crypt. It says, push or pull this key to a better or worse life/death, or suffer ut napishtim's trial. Standing on the sarcophagus, you take hold of the ring. Will you pull it down or push it up? But surely by now, I mean, this... okay, there's a logical flaw here, because on the door before, there was the word that you weren't sure whether it was push or pull. And after using the door, you actually know what that word means because you pushed or pulled and you saw the effect of it. And so, in this case, you would know which was push and which was pull. So, I call foul here. Okay, so that means that in this case, you would know whether push or pull was right. So, I'll do another save game, of course, because it would be very unfair if you pick the wrong one now, based on previous information. Okay. So, mapping again, push or pull. So 310, pull, 16, push. I'll push. Yeah. Okay. Push is the wrong answer. Okay. This god doesn't like pushing on this being. Okay, so luckily I had a save game. So push the end. Okay. Pulling is the right thing to do. And again, we the ring moves with a solid click. In response, a section of one of the crypt's walls falls out, revealing a steeply rising staircase. Running up this, you find yourself back in the outside world, standing at the foot of the line of hills you left so long ago. You return to the point where you left the Banshee and find that your crew had waited, just in case you were still alive. But what happened to the other crew that I had with me, which was my best men as well? We don't know, because it doesn't say here. Okay, so turn to 272. Okay, so we have survived, sort of. Now, I only died twice down there. Let's be fair, that's not bad. So hoisting sail, will you head out into the inland sea to patrol for rich merchantmen, or journey south down the coast of the eastern rim? So I got to 318, which I've got somewhere else probably. Surely 318, there we are. Or 10, which I also must have somewhere else. Yes, there it is. Okay, so I've been here before. I don't see any gold here. Okay, I'm going to go down the eastern rim because I've not been there before. So, but first, it actually feels like I need to blow my nose. All this wintry weather is messing up my sinuses. Okay. It's not that wintry today. It's 8 degrees and cloudy, mostly cloudy, actually. Not too bad. Right, water next. Right, so I'm going to number 10 from here. So, You sail onwards, passing the bleak red... I'll just make a note here. This is the right thing to do. There we are. You sail onwards, passing the bleak red dunes of the eastern rim's Sea of Fire, so named because of the intense coloring of the infertile earth. Roll 3 dice. Okay, so that's against crew strength again. And that's below. Okay, so... add 5 days to your log. Okay, so now we're up at 15. One evening, with the sun setting over the sea to the west, you notice a phosphorescent wreck in the water to the side of the Banshee. Wrecks aren't supposed to be phosphorescent, are they? Well, they could have some kind of phosphorescent algae on them. Heaving to, you drop anchor and dive overboard for a closer look. You see a merchant vessel lying in shallow water with 2 large holes smashed in its hull, one in the stern and the other in the bow. Okay. Which will you swim into, the hole in the stern or the bow? No option of going back? Okay. So. No option of going back. So we got 44 stern or 33 bow. Right. I'll go with the stern, I think. The hole leads into the captain's quarters, where you confront half a dozen sea sprites. These anxious little creatures dart nervously from side to side as you enter the vessel. Then rush into the far corner of the room, where they whisper together in high-pitched squeaks. Finally, one of them swims forward cautiously and says, "We are magical creatures, O brave adventurer from the world above. If you will help us to recover a treasure, we will speak on your behalf to our cousins, the wind sprites, who will surely make your ship the fastest on the seas. Will you help them? Oh, will you help them? or not? Okay. Right, so I'm going to help them, of course. So, right, so 75, help, or 383. Not. I'm going to help them. See if I can. I'm not going to do the voice. It's not good for me when my throat is a bit dry already. A predatory krell which inhabits a cave under this vessel has stolen the skull of Salt, explains the sprite. This is our most precious relic, given to us by Father Sea, which by its magic keeps the sea and fresh waters of the world separate. We must have it back. The sprites give you a magic potion which enables you to stay underwater without needing to breathe, and then show you to the krell's cave beneath the wreck. The entrance tunnel descends vertically into the seabed. Swimming down, you notice that the walls are heavily pocked with wide, deep holes. Will you continue swimming down into the cave or stop for a moment to look in one of the holes? Right. I think this was a terrible idea, but let's see how it goes. Okay, so... So we have 105, descend, or check out the holes, 89 holes. Okay, let's check out the holes then. Reaching randomly into hole, you disturb an enormous eel which savages your arm, lose 1 point of skill. Okay. -1. Skill, do not do that ever again. Big red mark on the map. Skill down to 10. And let's keep going. The cave sprouts a large side tunnel which disappears into murky darkness in front of you, while the main cavern continues straight down. Will you change your direction and take the side passage or continue down? Okay. I'm going to take the side passage. 136 side 148 down. Side it is. Okay, it's been decided. The side tunnel winds for a long way into the seabed. In one stretch, you notice that the walls, ceiling, and floor of the passage are covered entirely with the skulls and other bones of a variety of creatures. Long-snouted skulls, thigh bones as big as your whole leg, and other more human remains are easily identifiable. One skull, which looks like a unicorn, stands out especially white and clean. Will you remove this from its place in the wall, or leave the skulls alone and continue along the tunnel? Okay, so I'm moving my map a bit down this way again. So 201 unicorn. It was nice and bright. Maybe it's a creature that's almost alive then. 168, continue. I'm gonna check out the unicorn skull. Grasping the skull by its single horn, you pull with mighty force. Test your luck. Luck 11. Yeah, I'm lucky. So we've got test. Well, not that one. Test luck. Test luck. I'm going to run out of space on my map now. Okay, so we got 232 lucky, or 243 unlucky. Okay. The horn breaks free from the skull, which stays firmly embedded in the wall. Unicorn's horn is a lucky find at any time, but here under the ocean it is doubly so. Restore 2 points to your luck. That's a bit pointless, isn't it? You're using luck to be able to do something with it. And if you're lucky, you get 2 luck points back. And that's the first place I've been able to use luck. Of course, I might have been somewhere else where I got... Yeah, I forgot to reduce my luck to start with. Okay, so... luck plus 2. That was a bit pointless. And then I go to 168. Okay, so 168. The tunnel ends quite suddenly in a large rocky chamber. This is where the Krell is, so I'm wondering what happens if you keep going down. Maybe you die or something because you go too deep. The tunnel ends quite suddenly in a large rocky chamber. Sitting on the irregular floor, its insanely complicated limbs folded about a spiked shell, is the Krell. Its stalked eyes consider you while it toys with a boulder in its claws. Food, it says. Food. Yes, food. With a kick of its legs, it attacks. There's a lot of talking these underwater creatures are doing, isn't it? Right. Also, doesn't it speak crab or something instead of human? Anyway. So 812. Okay. So I've got 1016. And the Krell is 812. There's not a huge disadvantage. I've got a 2 skill point advantage going into the battle now. So 5 and 7. Okay, that's the first hit to me. 4 and 5 again. Okay. 7 and 4. That is him hitting me. 5 and 7 down to 6. 8 and 5. So 9 and 8. 6 and 5. 11 and 4. And finally perhaps 8 and 11. Yeah, okay, so I went down to 10 stamina. Be a bit careful now. I've got a helmet. I'm not getting any bonuses for that, surely. I defeated and go to 374. Okay, so that's there. 374. Excuse me. Having killed the Krell, you search its cave until you find what you were looking for, the skull of salt. Returning to the sea sprites with their prize, you are rewarded with a blessing to make your journey a rapid one. Whenever you are instructed by the book to roll 3 dice against your cruise strength, you need only roll 2 dice. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, this will be useful if my cruise strength goes down. So that means 2 dice for CST tests. Okay. Your surfers climb back on board the Banshee and set sail. Which way will you go? So, south towards Marad, or southwest out into the inland sea towards the shoals of Tristan. So I've been somewhere here before, obviously. So let's see if I can find these paragraphs on my map. So Marad is, so 191 and 66 are the ones I'm looking for. Let's see. Here we have 66 up here. Okay, so we are going to just do a colored line there, I think, so we can find that more easily. So we are going from here to here. So 66 or 191, which should be somewhere as well, maybe. If I can find it, if it is here. $191, there it is. Okay, so okay, so I can go either here or down there. And was there anything I could win here? It doesn't look like it. That's 105 gold there, which I get to if I go there. No, not there. So I should go Marad. It's quite a convoluted map because it's a little bit sort of not quite open world, but there are sort of sections you can actually go between and get to from different places, which looks like quite a nice sort of structure to it. I'm just wondering where I've sort of seen before that there are possibilities of getting 66 seems to most likely lead quite quickly to 191, possibly, or we can also go to other places. So I'm going to go south towards Marad, I think. So 191. You steer wide of the hostile city of Marad. Is it Marad or Marad? Marad sounds better, actually. Roll 3 dice. So that's 2 dice now because of the thingammy. So that's definitely less than cruise strength. I've done all of them, made all of those cruise strength tests now. That's 4 days now, so 19 days altogether. As you get to within 50 leagues of the Channel of Goth, you look out spies an island which is not indicated on any of your charts. Will you land on this island, continue towards the Channel of Goth, or head west to pass south of Trista on your way to the rock? Now, this is where, let's see, Island 38. I've been here before, haven't I? There's nothing on that island. So go to 38, 257 or 4. And it looks like I've not done that before. So before I've not done continue to watch a channel of Goth. I've done that before. When I get to this bit where it seems I've died at some point. Or I've not done 257 before. So pass south of Trista on your way to the rock. So maybe I'll try 257 because that's a new one. I'll try, yeah, so I'm going to go past south of Trista on your way to the rock. Sailing west, you pass between the garden island of Trista to the north and the Isle of Volcanoes to the south. Roll 3 dice, 2 dice again, and that is 8. Yep, so I'm down to add 3 days to your log, so that is 22. If your log is now an even number, turn to 109. If your log is an odd number, turn to 27. It's an even number, but let's see. I'll just need to map this out now, and this is going to be a little bit messy because there's no room here. Okay, I'll put it over on the edge here. So I'm going to go so 109 even 27 odd. Okay, so as you pass the island of Trista, a dark and sailless barge comes ploughing through the sea towards the Banshee. Its decks are crowded with soldiers, and mighty ballistas are set fore and aft. This mysterious craft, propelled by magic, no doubt, is obviously intent on attacking your own vessel. As it nears, the ballistas let fly, sending missiles which tear down your rigging. There is no escape. You will have to fight. So, here we are. Another battle. So I am 12-16. That's my crew's strike and strength. And that's the male. And the barge is 10-8. Okay, so 3 and 6. That's good. First hit to me. 10 and 7. 8 and 4. 7 and 6. Yep. 8 and 10. And finally, perhaps 5 and 5. Yes, so that's me winning. And the barge has been defeated. So, but if there's magic afoot, there might still be more to do. So, 3, 9, 5. Let's see what happens next. Having defeated the attacking craft, you waste no time in sacking it. However, being a simple assault barge, it carries no gold, so you settle for claiming 5 of the survivors as slaves. Okay, so 10 slaves now. You also take possession of the vessel's tiller, which you suspect is behind its mysterious propulsion. This acquisition, while not working on the Banshee, has a beneficial influence on your crew's morale. Restore 2 points to your luck. That's a bit rubbish. Okay, so another way to get +2 luck, which is a bit so +2 luck, +5 slaves. If you're heading towards the rock, I was turn to 27. If you were heading towards the Channel of Goth, turn to 178. So I I am going to go towards the rock. Otherwise, it says Channel of Goth. No, hang on. To 178. Do I have 178 anywhere on my map? It doesn't look like it. So I'll just do that in pen. 178, and that was towards Goth. Okay, so I'm going towards the rock, which sounds like a place where there should be a rock. I mean, ROC, rock, as in Sinbad the Sailor. 2 days to your log. So we are on day 24, and I've completely forgotten how many days I've got now. How many days do we have? Let's see. Yeah, the rock, that's right there. So I've been down. I went sort of towards Lagash, Rivers of Dead, Madad, Rock. So instead of going this way, I'm going that way. Yeah, that seems sensible, the routes, I think. Right, I've got how many days? 50 days, okay, so halfway there. Maybe, we'll see. Right, 2 days to your log. Yes, the rock is an island formed by a single enormous mountain jutting out of the ocean. Its peak is almost continually shrouded in cloud, while the lower slopes are covered with dense forest. It is named after a species of gigantic bird, which sometimes uses the higher slopes for nesting. Test your luck. And we are lucky, and we go down to 10. Although really, with all the +2 luck we've got, we should have had lots more than that in luck. Anyway, so test luck. Test luck, and now there's no space for anything anywhere. Okay, I'll just move my new paragraphs up there, and this is going to be such a messy map, which I think is really cool. Afterwards, when I've finished the game, I can look at the map and say, ooh, that's a terrible map. Okay. Well, the thing is, I really would have done this on bigger pieces of paper, but I'm doing this for you guys, and so that you can actually see my map, and it needs to be this size. Okay, so I would have used A3 otherwise. Or maybe a map the size of my desk. That would have been nice. Okay. Right, I got a bit carried away there. So what am I going to... Yes, so I'm doing lucky at 67 or unlucky at 92. So 92 or 67. So that's lucky. Okay, so 67, I am lucky. While you are sailing past the island, being lucky is meeting a rock. So if you're unlucky, what does that mean? Does it mean you actually die? While you are sailing past the island, the ship suddenly falls into a very dark and sharply defined patch of shade. Looking up, you see an enormous bird, somewhat like a buzzard, only several hundred times bigger. It circles above the Banshee a couple of times and descends in a steep dive to attack. Your crew take up weapons to defend themselves. Right. So rock 10-4. 10-4. Okay, so we have I'm at 12. Hang on. 12 actually. So my crew strength is down to 12, and the rock is 10-4. Okay, it's not that strong a rock. Yeah. So 10 and 4, although maybe strong enough, can still kill me. 2 and 5, that's better. 10 and 4. My crew strength is really going down now. 5 and 5. Okay, so that is the rock down. Okay, so 117. We defeat the rock. Take that, Dwayne Johnson. Okay, so 117. Right. The boat crashes into the ocean and sinks from sight. Will you land on the island or continue on your way through the straits and into the southern sea? Well, I might as well land on the island now and have a little look. So I'm going to 49, land. Did I ever go on this island before? I don't think so. Right. Dropping anchor in a steamy volcanic lagoon, you proceed ashore with your crew. The countryside is almost jungle, with thick foliage, exotic animals, and hundreds of thousands of insects. Would you head for the higher slopes of the central mountain, or stay in the lowlands, searching through the jungle? Okay. So we got two options. I'll just do like so. So 151 mountain or jungle 184 jungle. I'm going to go up the mountain slopes, see what I can find there. We'll see from there. Climbing towards the mountain peak, you stumble across an enormous nest constructed from tree trunks and boulders, not pebbles and twigs. Yeah. It contains 3 eggs, each as large as a man. It is obviously a rock nest. Looking inside, 3 eggs. That's quite a lot for a bigger bird as that. I suppose that means it must be elephant year, so they get enough to eat so they can actually feed 3 chicks. Looking inside, you discover the narrow opening to a rough-hewn tunnel leading into the mountainside. Just as you crawl in, alone, to have a closer look. Why would you do that? A terrible flapping sound fills the air. The rock is returning to its lair. Your crew still outside the tunnel scatter in panic and run at full pelt towards the jungle. The rock lands on its nest with a squawk. You decide to follow the tunnel down. Well, not much of an option, I suppose. Turn to 78. Okay, so. Only a short distance down the tunnel, you come across the bodies of half a dozen men. The marks on their bodies show that they have been badly mauled by some large avian. Most probably the rock that attacked you. It didn't really attack me, this one, did it? Anyway, will you search their bodies for loot or continue down the tunnel? I will search their bodies for loot. Thank you very much. So 229, search bodies, or 240. Continue. Down. Okay, so 229. Ooh, interesting. Okay. Grabbing the nearest body, you are horrified when several swollen worms burst from the man's chest and burrow their way into your arm. Lose 2 points of stamina. That's one thing. Okay, I'm going to go 8 stamina left. You recognize them as being parasitic brain eaters, which chew through their victims' flesh and bones on their way towards the unfortunate's brain. If you have the helmet of Utnapishtim, which I do, turn to 195, otherwise turn to 174. This is interesting. Is the helmet going to save me or actually be my downfall? This is going to be very interesting. If you watched the game so far, keep your eyes peeled for what happens next. Okay. Right, so I'm going to put that up there. So 195 helmet. I knew the helmet was going to be significant at some point. It just because you didn't get a choice of picking it up. So helmet, yes or no helmet. And stamina -2. Okay, I do have the helmet. Let's go 195. Helmet, obviously constructed by a magical being of high potency, drives the vicious brain eaters from your body before they can do any more damage. Leaving the other bodies, you continue down the tunnel. Okay, but obviously, if that's what the old helmet is good for, that's not worth it at all, is it? Well, 110 gold pieces, I guess, but right, so that means that it's probably not a good idea to check the bodies in the first place. don't do that. And if you do, make sure you have the helmet. So 240. So we continue down the tunnel to 240. Without warning, some massive and unseen creature grasps you by the neck and starts to strangle you. You slash out with your sword, and the beast emits a startled shriek and drops you. When you turn to look, you can see nothing but the tunnel. Then the creature strikes again, smashing you in the face with its invisible fist. For the duration of this combat, reduce your skill by 2 points. Indivisible Striker. Right, so we have ourselves now a skill of 10 and a stamina of only 8. Although for this battle we have a skill of 8 and a stamina of 8. And the Invisible Striker is a 7/6, so this could actually be quite hairy. So 3 and 6, we get first hit, which is quite fortunate. 8 and 5. 10. 7. 4. And 10. Okay. 10 and 7. Okay, it is sudden death. Only one remains. 6 and 3. And we are dead. Killed by an invisible striker. I wonder what he was striking about. Was it about pensions or salaries? Or working conditions, possibly. If it has to be in a dark tunnel all the time. No wonder he's a bit irate. Right. So that was my downfall there. And let's just make a note of 240. So that's a 7/6 there. And that was the end of the game for this time. And I thought that was quite interesting, quite an interesting playthrough this time. I managed to find a few new locations I haven't been before. I've sort of sussed out exactly what to do to avoid the death traps in that little section where I found the helmet in the tomb. So yeah, it was quite fun playing this after several weeks now, and I'm looking forward to playing my next time. And maybe one of these days I'll actually be able to get through this alive, and only to find, perhaps, that I've got less gold than Abdul the Butcher and lose the game, which would be quite fun too. So, in any case, I really hope you've enjoyed watching this. If you have, please like, share, subscribe, post this video on public forums, add it to public playlists. Join me on Patreon if you want to support what I do here on YouTube and other of my creative things. It would just a little bit per month. And I will see you next time when I make more videos about Fighting Fantasy or about anything else. So thanks for watching, and goodbye for now.